are buying here. 20 years ago, they were afraid of buying here. Where are those Americans coming from? They call it now the FAINA, they call it the financial bunker, right? Right? So what happens is, if you live in New York, you pay 8.82% in taxes. Now, if you live in the island, you pay state taxes, island taxes, and Manhattan taxes, about 50%. All right? Florida is one of the only 7 states that do not pay income taxes at the state level, and we do not pay inheritance taxes. So as I hear somebody say a long time ago, I don't remember the name, it's a great place to live, and a great place to die, right? That's what it's Miami. It's great, great. So if you live in California, state tax is 12.3%. 12.3% in California. Write that down. It's important when you're talking to your clients, you have those numbers, all right? So taxes are a big, big, big issue, all right? We call it the Wall Street of the South now. We have 8 billionaires living in Dade County. 8 billionaires now with main residence in Dade County. So we also talk about, and Anita asked the question about the hot areas in Miami. What are the hot areas? I had the fortune to talk or to conduct a panel about a month ago for the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, and I had the opportunity to have very, very good panelists in that show, and they all agree one of the the areas with the most potential is downtown Miami. All right. They gave many reasons why. Still, the price per square foot is about $700 a foot. Miami Beach is always going to go up. Of course, remember, real estate is a cyclical business. It's going to go up sometimes, it's going to go down eventually. But the fundamentals in South Florida are extremely strong. We have South Americans, we have the Americans buying here. It has evolved as a city. 10 years ago, we didn't have the infrastructure. We have the infrastructure now. We're building that infrastructure, and I'm going to touch on that point right now as an objection. We have the expansion of the Canama Canal, right? Two-thirds of every single merchandise that comes out of the Canama Canal goes where? To the United States of America. And 2/3 of everything that goes into the Canama Canal comes from where? From the U.S. And there are only 3 ports in the United States, east coast of the United States, that can accommodate the new ships, which are the post-Panamax, right? To give you an idea of the massive dimension of those ships, if you line up all those ships together, a line, it will be a line of 66 miles of containers in only one ship. It will go from Miami to West Palm Beach. That's creating about 5,000 new permanent jobs just in downtown Miami. One of the main objections we have is that we don't have the quality of jobs. Now we're becoming the 3rd technological hub in the United States. And that's due to the emerge of the Americas, right? Where we're bringing a lot of technological jobs to South Florida, especially Miami. We're bringing a lot of high-quality technicians from South America. My IT person in my company made $500 a month in Venezuela, and he was making a lot of money. Now he's working with us, and imagine he's making, I don't want to say how much, but he's making way more money than that, all right? So it's not all, now these jobs, by the way, with the emerge of the Americas, they're bringing about $2.1 billion extra in GDP and taxes to the Miami-Dade County, all right? And it's bringing about 17,000 new jobs starting at $70,000. All of that information you can find in Emerge of the Americas. Most of you have seen, many of you, my presentation of Why Miami, the Realtors Association. Everything that you say to your clients, most of you, how many of you are buyers here? So we have one buyer, how many realtors? All of you, right? So it's very important when you're talking to your clients that everything that you say, you must be able to prove. Why? Your client always has a friend that goes and says, that's not true. So you need to prove everything that you say. So make sure you write the notes down. Unfortunately, we live in 2015, and you can find that information from free in the internet. You can always go to the Realtors Association, and I do these presentations at least 4 times per month. So the next point that I wanted to touch on, it's the currency, right? We talk about Brazil, the devaluation of the currency in Brazil, in Venezuela. Understand that the worse it gets in South America, we said, the better it is in Miami. The country with the highest inflation in South America is which country? Venezuela, and it's been like that for more than 10 years. The Association of Realtors started measuring the number of properties bought by international clients in Miami, and since they started 7 years ago, Venezuela has been number one every single year. So for those of you who have South American clients, Colombians, Brazilians, Venezuelans, and they say, well, the situation in my country is that the currency is going down, all right? And I'm afraid that the currency is going to continue to go down. So here's the point. Prices in South Florida are probably going to go up for the next 6 to 12 months, or going to go down. Go up, right? Most of us agree on that. And the currency or the inflation in South America, is it going to go up or down? Right. So the currency is going to devaluate, right? And the prices in Miami, in South Florida, are going to go up, right? So the longer we go in time, the bigger the gap. You understand? So if you're truly serious and convinced that you want to buy a property in Miami, if you see the gap, prices going up in Miami and currency going down in your country, when is the best time to buy? Now, or 6 months, or 12 months from now? So that's the way you overcome that objection. If that client of yours truly has the need. I came from the banking industry, and I always said there are not good or bad financial products. It's all about your client. A certificate of deposit for a 20-year-old that wins the lottery is the worst product in the world, right? No kids, no family, $20 million in the bank, why would you put in a certificate of deposit? But if you are 90 years old and you win the lottery, you don't need to be investing in futures, option, or the stock market, right? So it's not about the product, it's about the client. Asking the 5 key questions to your client, and if you're a buyer, asking yourself, what is it exactly that I want? Where do I want it? The most important question is the why do I want to purchase property in Miami? Then when, and being very clear on how much. If you have those 5 questions answered very, very, very clear, you can have a very good qualified client, and you will most likely do a very, very good job for him or for her, whether it is a resale or for construction, all right? So the next point, and almost the last point that I want to touch on, it's education. From South America we hear, and sometimes from the Americans too, that Miami lack the education. Well, last year our superintendent was condecorated and invited to the White House for the number 1 superintendent in the country. Our school district is number 4 right now in the country. And for the first time, University of Miami broke the top 50 universities in the United States for the first time in the South Florida history, right? So we are coming along. We don't have NYU or Harvard or MIT, but we're coming along. The last thing I want to touch is traffic on the one on Plan Miami 21, traffic and infrastructure. Many people talk about the traffic in Miami. If you want to live in a big city, there's going to be traffic, period. You can move down to South Dakota, where I'm from, as you notice the accent, right?
Minnesota.
But listen, if you live in Los Angeles, I went to Los Angeles during the summer, it's just impossible.
That's why I wanted to come here
All right.
and have transportation to get on.
Exactly. You go to New York, yes, you have the subway, but anyways, if you're in the subway in February, in January, you're freezing, right? So it has the pros and the cons. I went to Toronto. I go every 90 days to Toronto to meet with my coach and my mastermind group. It was freezing, beautiful, and the real estate in Toronto is going up like crazy. It's amazing, but still, and the traffic, it's incredible. I went to the Blue Jays game, and it was impossible to get there, impossible to get there. So if you want to live in a big city, you have to deal with the traffic. Now, I had the the opportunity to have dinner with Daniel and the developer Armando Codina, and he was explaining to us, and we were talking about Plan Miami 21. For some of you that don't know about Plan Miami 21, it's the new city that we're building in Miami. Please research Plan Miami 21. What are the fundamentals of Plan Miami 21? Fundamentals are the following. Number one, it's mixed use. The idea is that you can walk from your place of residence to your place of work and entertainment within 10 minutes, all right? You will have walkability. If you live in the Gables, for example, like I do, you see that we have no sidewalks, right? But if you see the new developments in Faena Park, if you see Midtown, if you see downtown Doral, what's happening? They have parallel. They have parallel parking. They have very, very wide sidewalks, and they have outside dining. We don't have that in Coral Gables right now, and that's changing. But if you see the different small communities, like if you go from Brickell to downtown, to Midtown, to Miami Beach, to Doral, to Kendall, that's the Plan Miami 21. Mixed use, smart transportation. It's like in New York, right? If you live in Soho, if you live in Midtown, if you live in Uptown, West Side, you usually stay within that area, right? So it's very important we understand that. So number one, again, remember the new buyers we're getting. Number two, taxes are a big, big influence. Number three, the area. When I had the panel last month, most people agree. Miami's not going down in price, like Mark Twain said, right? Buy land, they're not making any more. Down in Miami Beach, especially, all right? And then the last thing I wanted to touch on, it's, I remember in one of the shows that I did for the Miami Real Estate Show, I interviewed Alicia Cervera. Most of you know who Alicia Cervera is. And she said, I asked her, Alicia, what's your take about Miami? And what makes Miami so unique? And I never forget that. She said to me, Orlando, Miami has the location. Miami has the weather. However, other cities can argue that they have the weather, like Los Angeles, and maybe the location. And we always had the location and the weather. And then she pauses and goes, but it's the people that makes Miami different. We've been importing talent for the last 20 years. So it's not about the taxes, it's not about the architects, it's not about the buildings, it's about the uniqueness of Miami. I said that Miami, and one more thing, it's, you said you don't like to call Miami sexy?
Before you, because I really set it up for you.
Okay. So,
I wish I had a chance to respond.
So, well, one thing you're gonna like, or maybe dislike about that, is the, you call Miami sexy, you don't like to call it sexy, right? So when I was doing this panel, one of the people that I was interviewing for the panel in Miami Beach was Harvey Hernandez, Venezuelan, so has a black humor, sense of humor. And he said, Miami's a woman. He said, all right, so everybody laughed. It's Miami's sexy. Miami's glamorous. But I say, Miami's unique. Miami's not South America, and if you travel to the Northeast, to the West Coast, you see that Miami's really not even the United States. Miami, it's Miami. It's truly Miami. You go to Boca's the United States, all right? But you can't say that it's South America either, because you go to South America and it's completely different, all right? Now, I had a meeting with the mayor of the city about 2 weeks ago for the interview for the Miami Real Estate Show, and he said also something very important, and I share with you because I spoke, it was less than 2 weeks ago, and then I talked to him, and he shared with me, he said, Miami is today what the United States will be 25, 30 years from now. You might agree, you might not, right? But to close the conversation, again, it's the people that makes Miami different. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.